What's going on, everybody? K to the 2 here with my PPL Division 2 Season 3 draft analysis. Now, this, I'm pretty happy with the team that I got, and I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly the team that I got. But first, before we go over that, I would like to give a huge shout out, a huge thank you to Ryquin for making these graphics for me. Very big help to me, and it's just going to make going over the team a little bit easier. And I also want to go over the format of which the thingamajig, the PPL, the thingamajig, wow, go me. We're gonna go over the drafting system, so let's just go ahead and take a look. There it is. Okay, so with the PPL, we do have a budget. So what happens is each mon is priced pretty much what we have determined to be fairly, and at 110 mil, that's how many points that we have. That's how much of a budget we have in order to draft and to make a team of at least 8 mons up to 11. So we have 11 slots on the left that we need to fill up. Well, at least 8 to fill up. We can go up to 11 to fill up for our team. So, just to kick things off, I had the first overall pick, and you know what? When you had the first overall pick, it's kind of a, I don't know, it's really, there's good things about it, there's really bad things about it. The good thing about it, of course, is you can get whatever you want on the first try. You can, or on the first pick, and you won't have any qualms getting sniped or anything. But like on the way back, there's 30 picks that happen between your first pick and your second round pick, and of course you get wheel picks on the rounds 2 and 3, rounds 4 and 5, so you can pick 2 mons in a row. However, going throughout the draft, I really disliked having that little gap of 30 mons being taken between my picks. So that's going to that actually kind of affected like the structure of the team from what I immediately thought that I wanted. But we're going to go ahead and go over it. Now, going into the draft, I set aside a bunch of plans that I wanted to go with. I went over things with Latios, with Mega Lopunny, with Mega Charizard X, with Skarmory, with Manaphy, with Victini, Jirachi, all of the mons that are considered to be top of the format type mons, like first round type mons that you can build a team around. I decided that the mon that gave me the absolute best options for the wheel following and the team that I felt like I could build the best team around ended up being Manaphy. So we ended up taking Manaphy. Manaphy is tied for the second most valuable thing in draft format. The most valuable was Kyurem Black, which I absolutely did not consider, mostly because it's 20 points, so that's like really high. That's outrageously high. So like I wanted Manaphy. Manaphy, I felt, gave me the absolute best options for the following wheel pick, and Manaphy just by itself is an amazing Pokemon. Let's talk about Manaphy a little bit. I like, by now a lot of you know exactly what Manaphy does. Manaphy has basically 2 sets that run train on everything. However, it does have some good utility options in the likes of U-turn. It gets knockoff. It gets screens, which is pretty cool. It gets like Scald and Surf, of course. So Scald is really nice for burns, and then just the ability to have the hydration, even if you don't have like I don't know, even if you don't have a boosting move, just like Rain Dance, Rest, and Toxic just helps stall out a lot of teams. So you can be kind of a dick with it, and then you can also just kill everything with the Tail Glow set. Manaphy is an amazing Pokemon. I've never used it before, so I was not reluctant in order to pick it up and try and use it, see how well I can do with it. So that is the first mon of the draft. Now, the next mon that I wanted was something that I have used before, and something that I really think pairs amazingly with Manaphy, and that was Thundurus Therian. Thundurus Therian, I feel, in my opinion, and now this goes against a lot of what people think, I feel that ThundyT is the best electric type in the format. Again, that's up to debate. That is up to ThundyT here, and widely known as the other two best electric types. That would be Thundurus Incarnate and also Zapdos. Now, those three, definitely top 3 electric types. I decided to go with ThundyT. Zapdos was already gone. ThundyI was the 3rd pick of the draft. I was so excited to get ThundyT that came all the way back to me 30 picks after Manaphy, because I feel like ThundyT is definitely, I wouldn't say first round worthy based on merit, because a lot of times it doesn't go until round 2, round 3, even as late as round 5 I've seen. And a lot of drafts it just goes undrafted because people don't understand how much of a monster Thundurus Therian is. Thundurus Therian has a base 145 special attack stat, combined with the likes of Volt Switch, so super powerful Volt Switches, Thunderbolt, great coverage with Grass Knot. It gets Incinerate, which you would never run HP Fire on it because it does have Incinerate. Very nice move. It gets Hidden Power of any choice that it wants. It has the utility options in Knockoff. It has Superpower. Base 105 attack is nothing to scoff at. It's not the greatest, but it does still hit hard. It has a good physical move pool. With Iron Tail, it has Wild Charge to hit on the Electric Stab on the physical side. ThundyT is just, I love it. It has options with Dual Dance, so Nasty Plot and Nasty Plot and Agility. It can run Train on people, and now the team has been very specially based so far, and just the fact that it can run mixed sets doesn't mean I will run mixed sets, but like, these are 2 of the best special wall breakers out there. The special attack on these monsters are, well, like Manaphy, it boosts itself because of Tail Glow. It's the best special attack boosting move in the game. ThundyT with base 145 special attack after a Nasty Plot has higher special attack than Manaphy after a Tail Glow. So it's ow, yeah. The ow actually happens with these 2 after setup. That's basically the structure of the team. Was I really wanted to get a lot of things that can do a lot of damage right away, or threaten with amazing setup moves in order to pressure my opponent. So then they can't really run through my team. They have to keep offensive checks on their team in order to deal with my team. And if I have enough offense on my team, they won't have enough to take out every single last one of my Pokemon. That's basically the idea of the team that I was going for. Now, something that I really wanted to pair with Manaphy and ThundyT was a really good Pursuit Trapper. I am going to be running into a few Lotties this season, so it would be really nice to get one of those to deal, or so then it's one less thing that Manaphy has to deal with, one less thing that Thundy has to deal with. Because ThundyT, the main drawback on it is its base 101 speed. Thundy Incarnate has a base 111 speed, which outspeeds those base 110s, which are really pesky. But it's just really the only drawback that I see from ThundyT. So I wanted to have something fast that was a Pursuit Trapper that can deal with the things that are a little bit faster than these 2. So I ended up getting Weavile. Amazing Pokemon. It made it all the way through 2 rounds, which completely surprised me. I did not expect this to get to me. Weavile has the Pursuit, of course, which is what I really wanted to do. Like, oh, you turn Manaphy into Weavile, absolutely decimates things. Because you can get rid of the immediate check to Manaphy, as long as it's like a psychic type, or you can just threaten something out, go into Thundurus, go into Weavile, threaten it with really powerful stab moves, like Stab Knockoff, amazing, Stab Icicle Crash, amazing. It's really hard to switch into either or both of those stabs. So it's just, I'm going for a lot of ow, basically. Again, my team before this was lacking some pretty hefty physical wall breaking prowess. That's pretty much exactly what Weavile gives us. It gives us some pretty good priority with Ice Shard. Really strong base 120 Ice Shard coming from Weavile, of course, is very nice. There really isn't too much that I want to say about Weavile itself. I just feel like it pairs really well with Manaphy Thundee, and you know what? This was the wheel pick that I got, was Thundee Weavile. Two amazing mons that I did not expect to get back to me. Now, looking at the amount of money that I've spent so far, Manaphy was 19, Thundee was 16, Weavile was 16. We're already down to 59 mil. That's a lot of our budget. That's almost half of our budget in 3 of our mons that we've picked. So the next few picks are going to be not only value picks, but picks that I really thought about and thought hard about and was like, you know what, this is exactly what the team needs right now at this point. So the next mon that I ended up picking was Fortress. Now, Fortress was only 10 points. Very nice, very cheap mon. My team really needed some hazard removal at this point. If we take a look, Thundee, Weavile both were weak to rocks, of course. But the main thing that Fortress gives us is access to every hazard in the game. We can have, well, except for Sticky Web, of course. It gets Stealth Rock, it gets Spikes, it gets Toxic Spikes. All 3 of which Manaphy, Thundee, and Weavile appreciate. Because Manaphy misses out on KOs, on crucial KOs without those spikes up, without a T-Spike wearing down the opponent. Same with Thundee, it sometimes misses out on clear KOs without Stealth Rocks being up. Fortress is very nice in that department. Now, it is 4 times weak to fire, however, it has no other weaknesses. So, like, what's the big deal? I can just have something like that deals with fire types, or I can just Volt Switch out, go right into Manaphy. Which is another thing that Fortress offered for this team, because this team is very Volt turning. Fortress gives me another Volt Switch user, so I can pivot around. I can use it as a defensive pivot of sorts. Go into it, click Volt Switch, and getting my momentum right back again. Go into my offensive threats. So Fortress offers me a lot of that. It has the Rapid Spin, of course, to keep hazards off of my side of the field. It has a really amazing base defense stat, hitting over base 400. Base 400 at level 100. And it's just incredibly bulky. Base 90 attack is nothing to scoff at, especially when it gets pretty powerful moves in Heavy Slam. It's a pretty heavy Pokemon. Heavy Slam, Earthquake, and Explosion, of course. Explosion's really good in order to stop setup, or like setting up a sub in front of me, to where I can go into one of the mons that threaten out the opponent. So Fortress, that's what it offers me, and that's I really enjoy what Fortress brings to the table, so I felt like I should go with it. Next up, we ended up getting Landotea. Now, again, this one was another pretty expensive pick, but I felt completely like it was worth it. Now, Landotea, a lot like Thundee, is an amazing wall breaker. It has amazing it has amazing momentum grabbing potential, because it does have a really powerful U-turn coming off of base 145 attack stat. Landotea with the Intimidate, very bulky Pokemon. 89 HP and 90 defense. You can make this thing really bulky. A base 91 speed isn't the greatest, but it's also really good for something that gets Rock Polish, something that gets Sword Stance, so again, I can run Double Dance on this as well. It's it's another Stealth Rock user, so Landotea can be used for that role whenever I need it, and it is a very, very reliable Choice Scarf user. Now, of course, Lando T, base 145 attack stat. When you're adamant, it hits over 400 attack, and you can click EQ, and that does so much damage. Stab EQ is one of the best moves in the game. Now, of course, it really helps out the team because it is a ground type, just, again, keeping up the momentum thing, so then less things can U-turn on me, or less things can Volt Switch on me, rather. So that's 2 electric immunities in Thundy T and Lando T. Both are weak to ice. Both are weak to ice, which is kind of a problem, but also you can run things like Yachi Berry in order to stop that and then get a clean KO on whatever is going for the HP Ice, because it will not kill it with a Yachi Berry. 100% will not kill Thundy T or Lando T. So Lando T, I just felt like was an amazing Pokemon to get on this team. Another thing that can immediately set up and threaten my opponent right off the bat, in order to keep up my momentum. So again, just continuing the theme of Volt turning and getting into whatever I need, getting into as many situations as I can in order to try and get a free setup, which is, again, what I wanted from this team. Next up, I ended up getting Empoleon. This was an 11 mil pick, and with Empoleon, this gives me a very niche Pokemon. Now, Empoleon, of course, on the surface, a lot of people don't like it. They say, "Oh, it's a water type that doesn't resist fire." And the way that I like to look at it at this point is, I don't care that it's a water type that doesn't resist fire. My good friend PaullyMac described it more as a steel type that isn't weak to fire, which makes a lot more sense. Now, Empoleon does have Stab Scald, which is just a bonus. Empoleon on this team, with its Defiant as its secondary ability, very nice, because it punishes people who want to run Sticky Webs, who want to run stuff like Defog, so I can punish the people who go for Defog. Empoleon, even though it only has base 86 attack, after a Defiant boost, if it's adamant, I can get up in agility to completely get rid of its hindering base 60 speed. And it hits really hard. It gets pretty good coverage moves. It gets Knockoff, it gets Drill Peck for grass types, I guess. I don't know. Empoleon's just, I feel it's a very nice Pokemon, very niche. It offers another Stealth Rocker on my team. And the main thing that I wanted to get it for was the defensive capabilities that it does have. It resists Fairy, which is very nice, and it also resists Rock, which my team at this point does not have a Rock resist. Now, of course, it's not the biggest deal in the world because Stealth Rocks are the best Rock type move in the game, and that's passive damage. It's not like you're switching into Rock type moves over and over and over again. But Empoleon does give me that possibility, and because I do have Lando T right next to it, like you see Gliscor and Empoleon together a lot. Lando T and Empoleon is pretty much just as good, but Lando T offers a more threatening partner than Gliscor is. So it's more of an offensive pairing than it is a defensive pairing between Lando T and Empoleon. So that's I'm not really going to sit here and make a case as to why Empoleon is a great Pokemon, because even I don't think it is. However, I feel like it fit the team very well for what I needed at the time. So along with this Pokemon for the wheel, I was like, you know what, I really want a Fairy type. I don't want to wait too much longer in order to get a Fairy, because most of the Fairies have been picked up by this point, and I only have 24 mil remaining. Now, 24 mil remaining after 6 months, yeah, after 6 Mons is not bad. Getting a 7th Mon and having around 15-16 million left means you can get 2 to 3 really good Mons to finish out your draft. Now, the mon that I ended up deciding with was Whimsicott. Whimsicott was only 9 points, so I have 15 million left. Whimsicott is a great Pokemon. Prankster is an amazing ability. Prankster Encore stops, like in my opponent's tracks, just stops setup 100%. It's another thing that gets U-turn. It has a good secondary ability in Infiltrator, so I can hit through substitutes. Like if fighting types want to set up a sub on a switch, I can hit them with a Moonblast through their substitute and knock them out, because base 77 attack on the surface is not that great. However, Whimsicott does hit really hard when you invest correctly. Base 116 speed is amazing if you want to run it offensively. With Prankster, it can be really bulky. Its stats are very deceptive. Like, they look very low, however, they're in exactly the right places in order for it to do exactly what it needs to do. Whimsicott, just, I love it. Like, after watching and helping Mono last season for PPL D2, when he went 11-0, he used it beautifully. He used it exactly the way that Whimsicott should be used, and I felt like that's exactly what my team needed at this point. Everything that Whimsicott provides is just a benefit to my team. There's no drawback in my eyes to picking Whimsicott. So that's really all I gotta say about Whimsicott. Let's move on to the next pick. Next pick, Lickilicky. We got Tongue Beast for 5 million. Very, very underrated Pokemon. Base 110 HP, 95 in each defense. This thing is so bulky. It cannot be taunted either with Oblivious, or is it? No, it's Oblivious. Oblivious means it cannot be taunted. So you can run Wish Protect, you can run like Rest Talk, and then you can't get taunted. Very difficult to take down this monster. It has insane coverage. It can hit on either side of the spectrum. It can be physical. It has access to Power Whip. It has Earthquake, Stone Edge. Does it get Stone Edge? It definitely gets Rock Slide. Return, of course. Body Slam. It gets all of these really good moves on the physical side, and also because it's a normal type, it gets all these special moves for whatever reason. It gets Fire Blast. It gets Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. Everything on the special side, in order to get the absolute best coverage in the game. So you can run it as this wall breaker, even though it doesn't have the greatest attacking stats. It does have really good hard-hitting coverage to make up for the lack of stats that it has. Lickilicky, just one thing that it really offers to the team is some healing. Passing Wishes is amazing for this team. It can allow me to get into my offensive threats when I expect the correct move. Like, I can pass it into Manaphy with no consequence. It'll live a hit, get completely back up to full after the Wish. Same with Thundy T, same with, like, not Weavile. I wouldn't switch in Weavile into a lot of things. Lando T and Polian really appreciates, both of them really appreciate a Wish being passed to them. Fortress, of course. Whimsicott can do it itself. It has Synthesis and it has Leech Seed, of course. Lickilicky, though, can pass Wishes into basically the entire team and also help break down my opponent's team and being an amazing wall breaker. So that led me to pick Lickilicky, and I have two picks left remaining. And this next pick was basically what the entire team is built around. It was what the team was built around from the beginning, and I was so happy to get it. I was so ecstatic that it fell all the way to me, and nobody else picked it all the way through the draft, and that was Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet was 9 million. It just lowered in price after last season, and it is single-handedly going to win games just by being on my team. Why is that? just because it has Shadow Tag means that Wobbuffet will 100% mess with my opponent's mind. It will get in their head. It will make them think, how do I not lose to Wobbuffet? Of all things on the team, I've gone through it. I've gone through having to face a Wobbuffet before, and I've seen how much it really affects my preparation. Just the threat of being trapped forces my opponent to have things like baton pass over necessary coverage. It forces them to have, instead of a fourth utility move, it forces them to have baton pass, to have volt switch, to have U-turn, which means they can escape Wobbuffet. But what if I don't even bring Wobbuffet? Then they just wasted a move basically on their set. Wobbuffet also, even by itself, even when the opponent does have something, or doesn't have something for it, it just traps and kills something. You can click Encore, lock them into either a status move, lock them into an attack that you can take another one of, and just click either counter or mirror coat on whatever it is, and then that mon is gone. Wobbuffet can basically allow free setup, which is exactly what this team wants. The team really likes free setup, especially things like Manaphy with Tail Glow, Thundy T, Nasty Plot, and Agility, Weavile with Sword Stance. Fortress doesn't get anything, but you know, I wouldn't go into it if I want to try and set up. Lando T gets Sword Stance, Rock Polish. All of these things hit super hard after they get set up, and it's nearly impossible to take all of them out. And Wobbuffet gives them all free setup. So the team is completely built around the idea of volt turning into Wobbuffet to eliminate the checks to certain mons like Manaphy, Thundy Teeth, and Landorus. Completely can get rid of those mons. Wobbuffet can completely get rid of those mons, and then you go right back into that threat, Lando T, Thundy T, Manaphy, Weavile, and then you can set up. Then you have no worries in the world of whatever can check those mons, and Wobbuffet just completely gets into your opponent's head, all from prep. So I definitely feel like Wobbuffet is going to be one of the best mons, even if it doesn't show the stats, if it doesn't get the kills in the season. It's definitely going to make a difference every single game. So I have 1 million left, and with this 1 million I decided to get a mon that us on the pricing committee actually ended up missing. Everything on our pricing list goes from 20 million down to like 2 million, down to like 1 million for things that are like really bad. Anything that's left off of the pricing list is 1 million, and this was actually a mon that we missed. This mon is actually good. It should be worth probably 2 million. Because it is so much more useful than all the mons that we have listed at 1 million, like Unknown or Spinda. And that is actually Abra. Abra, you might look at Abra and be like, why would you get Abra? Well, first of all, there's no drawback in spending all of our money in the draft, so might as well get Abra, right? Might as well get something for 1 million. But Abra actually has use. Abra's base 105 special attack is higher than Manaphy's, and of course, like, we all know what Sash Alakazam does. Sash Alakazam has a free, like, revenge kill, basically. Base 90 speed is nothing to laugh at either. Base 90 speed allows Abra to outspeed those walls. It can do the Encore things. It can even trick a Violates off of things like Chansey and P2. And also just, you know, the main thing that I wanted it for was Sash Magic Card. So then no matter what, it lives a hit, gets off free damage or a free Thunder Wave. Now that's actually very useful, very useful for the team. As you know, sometimes, like, I will, with this team, sometimes I will need an oh shit button, which is basically just Abra. The oh shit button keeps me from getting swept, and then I can continue getting my momentum back. And basically, Abra's just a mon. It's a cool mon, and it has use. It's worth more than 1 million. I got it for 1 million, and I will probably after the season argue it to be, yeah, let's put it on that 2 million list. We missed this. It was our mistake. But you know what? For a season, it is 1 million, and it is going to, even if it doesn't hit the field, even if it doesn't do anything all season, I'll be happy with having Abra. So that's basically it. I'm happy with my team overall. Looking at it, it doesn't have the best answers to offensive fire types. My only fire resist is Manaphy, and Wobbuffet is probably one of my best answers to it. Offensively, against fire types, I am not really that worried. I do have the likes of Lando T, Manaphy, Thundi T. Like, of course, all the offense on my team is going to not only deal with like just fire types, it's going to deal with like every type. Insane coverage that this team gets, insane setup, and of course the threat of free setup with Wobbuffet on this team. So that's basically what the entire team is built around, and I want to know what you guys think about the team. I want to know what you like about the team, what you dislike about the team. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you made it through all the way through this draft analysis, I would like to thank you. And I would also like to remind you to go ahead and hit that like button down below, and go ahead and leave a comment, of course. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.